Hello, Karen. Happy June. I'm so happy to see you. It's been a while.
Edie, happy June. Also, happy May and happy late April because I haven't seen you in 2 months.
Seriously, two months. It really has been. It's been 2 months. It's been crazy. I have missed you terribly. I really have thought
Same.
about you a lot, and I'm just so happy to be together again.
Agreed. We picked right up where we left off.
Yes.
I thought about you a ton. I followed your journey on Instagram, which was so fun. And yeah, I will say, and this is a topic for another day, but I will just say this that not having these conversations, not having this outlet, not having this time with you shrunk my brain. No
Oh,
pressure, but I really, I realized like how important this time is. So, I mean, we always say that, but like therapy addendum, not a joke. And like, yeah, it made me appreciate this all the more. So,
oh, I love that so much. And although I don't like the idea of your brain shrinking, but yes, I'm with you because I don't have these types of conversations with everyone. I don't. Like, I don't actually have them with anyone, honestly. Like, you are kind of the only person other than my therapist, genuinely. Like, it's like these are such special conversations, special time. That's why I've always loved you ever since we met. Like, it's just like, I'm just so grateful for our friendship. I really am. So yes, I do not want to do any more brain shrinkage. Like no, I mean 6 weeks. Really, it was 7 weeks because we recorded before I left. Yeah, that's a little long for me also. So yeah, but I'm glad to be back on the bandwagon. And
yay.
listeners, thank you for sticking with our every other week mini pods. This will also be a mini pod. My jet lag is very real to the point that I almost didn't. I basically rescheduled this exact podcast with you, Karen, and then I scheduled it back to the exact time that it already was scheduled for because I was like, oh yeah, that's better. And I apologize for that. I've done that with many people.
My gosh. I mean, your poor body does not know where you are right now.
It doesn't. I'm supposed to be 10 hours ahead of myself. So right now it's 4 p.m. That's too much math. So I'm just going to let it go. No, it would be 2 a.m.
AM.
Yeah, 2 a.m. I guess I can do that math. Yeah. So, but it's okay. I mean, it's been 48 hours and I'm basically my jet lag hack is to stay in bed even if I'm awake and try to like keep my eyes closed as long as humanly possible. Yesterday I got up at 4:30. That was as long as humanly possible. Today I got up at 7. So that was a big bonus.
Ooh. Hey now.
Yeah, progress. Yeah. So yeah, it's been good.
All right. So, no pressure. We're on a tight schedule here because we got to beat the jet lag.
Yes.
So, and you can say this better than I can, but listeners, you are going to hear so much more about Katie's amazing adventure. This mini pod, I wanted just like a quick, like, as Cliff's Notes version of this experience and what you got out of it.
I so appreciate the question. And yes, I will be more than happy to talk in way more depth. But in the next now 6.5 minutes, I will just shrink it down. And if you have any questions, Karen, also I'm happy to like just address your questions. And I don't know,
Excellent.
is that easier or should I just go?
Oh, okay. I don't know either. All right, let's start with okay. When did you, how long were you gone and how many places did you go to?
Okay, so I was gone for 6 weeks to the day, and I started with 2 weeks in Italy, and then from there I went and did 2 weeks in Morocco, and then I did 1 week in Greece, 2 days in Vienna, Austria, and then 6 days in Croatia. And within that time, we had a day trip to Bosnia wine country because that's
Wait.
apparently a thing. Like, which
Oh, okay. Whoa. What?
actually, I'm lying. It's Herzegovina. Shit. I'm sure that I'm not saying that right because it's Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Herzegovina?
Yeah, thank you. I think that's Herzegovina.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I know I'm like saying it softly because I don't know what it is.
It's like, I don't know her.
Yes, exactly. But like that's the name of the country. It's like Bosnia and Herzegovina, or the right name of that if I'm mispronouncing it. And it was interesting. I mean, it was interesting also to go through the checkpoint between Croatia and Herzegovina because it, it was like the tour guide was like, yeah, we might have to pay off the customs agents, and I was like, oh, and then nothing happened. But I realized that I had been holding my breath for like a solid minute during that car ride, and I was like lightheaded and nauseous, and I was like, oh my god, like as if I was gonna die or something. Croatia is very, it's not Western Europe, but it's very it's like going to Italy or something. It's very nice,
Mm.
and Bosnia I think has like it's just there it's on the rise, I guess you could say. It's like not exactly the same. Like the wine is honestly very very good, but the tourism infrastructure is not there yet. But yeah, I mean, okay, so that's where I went and that's how long it was. Thank you for the
Oh my
question.
gosh. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay. Ooh, I love this. I love this interview style. Um, what would you say is your main takeaway from this experience? What were you expecting going into it? And did that match how you're feeling coming out of it?
Mm. Okay, so my intention going into it was
Mm.
to be open. This is a nebulous intention, but like to be open to the magic of the experience. And 2 days in, so my first 4 days were in Florence, and I was alone for those 4 days. And then I met up with friends, and then we went to this retreat together. And those 4 days, I would say the first day and a half was awesome. Like it was like, yeah, I'm totally into the magic. This is great. And then about 36 hours in, I was like, what am I doing with my life? I need to figure out everything. Cannot believe I'm not with anyone right now. Oh my God, should I be eating pasta for the fourth time today? I don't know. What about gelato? I don't know. Like it was just, yeah, so those voices came in. And so
Yeah.
that wasn't really embracing the magic of the experience. But now that I think about it in retrospect, like retrospectively, maybe that was just part of the experience is like, the shitty voices inside of your head. Sidebar, small movie recommendation. There's a movie that I saw on the way home called Violet, and it has Olivia Munn in it, and it's
Mm.
awesome. And it's entirely about the voices in her head. And it's actually like exceptionally well done. I had never even heard of it. I don't even know when it came out. I think it's pretty recent. Anyway, back to Florence. Violet on Netflix
Yes.
probably, or who the hell knows? I don't know. Google it, but maybe on YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, on the Turkish Airlines flight from Istanbul, that's where it was. But anyway, and so yeah, I mean, it was. I don't know if it met my expectations. I think it exceeded my expectations.
Mm.
Um, I think 6 weeks is a long time. Like it's interesting to be like I find that whenever I go on vacation, it takes me a few days to kind of calm down from being away from my life that I live here in Bend. And it was so long that it actually made me immerse myself in the moment in such a way that was I really don't think I've ever experienced. Like Tyler and I, we
Mm.
traveled the world. Well, we traveled through Asia for one full year when we were in our 20s. And that's
Wow.
18 years, 17, 16, 17, 18 years ago, whatever, one year. Like it was in 2008 or 2009. I'm jet lagged here. So yeah, it was a while ago. More than one decade, less than two. But anyway, it was and that was like that became our lives. So it was like that type of travel, and there was a lot of different things that happened on that trip that had to do with volunteering and like a lot of other stuff that we did, that some of it not so good and some of it was great. But I've never exited my life in Ben or exited my life as like a adult human in the working world for like this period of time and not worked. And like it's interesting because you kind of get used to it after a while and it like becomes your life too, but like in a different way. It felt so expansive, Karen. It felt so freeing.
Mm.
Like I had planned every single day to a T. I was going
Wow.
from place to place and always with friends and always with, I mean, it took 2 years to plan this trip. Like this was not a whim. Like, and also it was a lot of learning because I was able to save the money over 2 years to even do this type of thing and also figure out how to structure my life like work wise to be able to do this type of thing. So like this was just a totally different new experience for me. And I would say that in like the biggest thing, and this sounds, I don't know what this sounds like, but it's just the truth, is that there's so much beauty in the world. Like that's
Mm.
actually what, and I think travel always tells me that, but like there's so much, like there's also so much pain and suffering. Obviously, I'm not trying to make like pretend I'm a sage or anything, but like there's so much on TV that you think like, oh my God, that country's having whatever trouble or that is happening, and therefore that's what is happening everywhere in that country. It's not true. Like I would say the majority of humans are good people and they're trying to do right by themselves and people around them. And like people are so much smarter and funnier and kinder than you can ever even imagine if you're not there. And it's like that's something that I kept seeing over and over and over. And yeah, there were a few assholes. Okay, they exist as well. I mean, I will give that. Like there were a few times that I was like, I'm trying to give this person the benefit of the doubt. And then I'm like, no, they're just a dick. And that's fine. Like, so,
Yeah.
but like on the whole, it was a wonderful experience. And it's like when I was in Morocco, that was by far the most impactful 2 weeks of the trip. And I would recommend Morocco to literally every single person. And so, but and at the same time, the beauty is so intense. Like there's so much color and flavor, and like smells are different, and the people are funny and laughing loudly, and like they're just all. But then there are stray dogs and cats everywhere that are not well taken care of, and
Mm,
there's poverty, and it's rough. I mean, it is rough, specifically when it comes to animals. I have a very, very difficult time with
yeah.
anything that is like an animal being hurt at all. And that's something that I had to compartmentalize. I hate to say it that
Mm,
way, but like I even saw them in Italy. I saw them in the only place that I didn't see them as much was in Croatia. I saw them in Greece. Actually that's not true. Vienna is basically like a sterile city. It's weird. Like it's beautiful and I would recommend anyone going, but like you could eat off the ground. Like the only other
oh
place
my
I've ever been to that's like that is Singapore, where it's illegal to throw trash on the ground. But like in Vienna, it's so sparkling, like everywhere. And I'm like, this is not like real life. But apparently it is for them. I don't know. They must just have like a lot of it's kind of like that in Switzerland as well, because there's so much government intervention in terms of like everything
God.
they do. So like that's possibly why. But anyway, it was just wonderful. It was like I'm sorry, my brain is mush. I think I'm just saying beauty and wonderfulness a lot.
Those are words. Those are
Yes.
valid words.
It's true. I'm saying
Ah,
words.
okay, one last question. We're already over, but of course we are.
Of course.
What is one thing you can do or that you recommend that people do to hold on to that feel like, we talked about like your brain has rewired neural pathways based on this experience. Like, how can you hang on to that?
Yeah. Oof. Oh gosh, that question is like batting around in my brain 24/7 right now, because I
Mm.
keep worrying that this incredible spaciousness is just going to like drain out and then be replaced by like depression and anxiety times 10. Like I know that you and I were just talking about this before we hit record. Like it's this depression and anxiety cheerleaders that have been waiting and lying in wait like, "Ooh, yes, she's home. Cool. Sweet." But no, I mean, I think the truth is that be, like going slower, like just
Mm.
in general. And I know that that's like a privileged thing to say. Like I know everyone is busy and a lot of people are even busier than busy, and like but I really what I mean is like doing one thing at a time. Like I'm usually going for a walk while texting my family, while listening to 7 podcasts, while making a point to put it on my calendar that I need to do the next thing. It's like, what if I just went for a walk without my phone? Or what if I just went for a walk with my phone in my pocket because there might be an emergency, but at least I just kept like it in my pocket, hopefully, and like not with AirPods on. And I think that's something that I'm really trying to figure out, because a friend of mine asked me that question over text yesterday, and she's like, "What do you think takes you out of, the vacation mode?" And I was like, "It's my anxiety that I have to be everything to everyone where all at once, Like it's like I have to respond to every text. I have to respond to every email. I have to like what am I if I'm not being of service to others?" And it's like, "Wait, what if I was just like what does it mean to be in service to myself?" And I think what that means is slowing the fuck down and like being okay saying no to people, disappointing people. Like a friend of mine that I met in Morocco, she was talking to me about how she cooks and how she like loves cooking and she finds so much joy in it. And I was like, I hate cooking. I'm like, I wish I loved it. I wish that I could just like, she's like, yeah, I stop working. And then after I'm done with work, I'll turn on some music on my, my earphones. And then I will spend 3 hours in the kitchen. And I'm like, 3 hours. She's like, do you
Three
realize how
hours.
calming that is? And I was like, I don't even think about food until I'm too hungry to make a good choice. And so it's like,
Oh
like
man, that is real.
I mean, that's just. The truth. Like if I'm hungry, I'm like, oh fuck, I've already waited way too long. My blood sugar's way too low. What am I gonna do? And
Sorry.
so then the girl, her name's Andrea, she's like, oh, well, you could just think about what you want to eat in advance. And I'm like, so think about food before I'm starving? Like that's an interesting concept. So like stuff like that, like just slowing down. But I also know that like anxiety is gonna creep back up and I'm trying to just be nice to myself. It's hard. I think that it's hard to have a vacation mode all the time when you're like paying bills and on Zoom calls.
Oh man. Ouch.
I
Ouch.
know. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's also like I'm the way I'm hearing it as someone who did not is not left is like it is being present
Yes.
and it is mindfulness. And it reminds me of this idea in meditation or mindfulness of like establishing this point in your body where like you are relaxed, you are present, you are safe, you are calm, you are all of the things that you can come back to. Like, this is how my body feels, this is how I'm breathing, this is whatever. And now you have this place to come back to in your mind of like expansiveness and being present and enjoying the experience, all of the things. Like, that's
Yes,
very
it's
cool.
totally about mindfulness. That's so well said. Like it is, like you can always come back to that place. Like I
Yeah.
actually yesterday I put it in my notes app. I am the person that is calm. I am the person that is feeling spaciousness. Like I had to put it in my notes app because I'm afraid I'm going to fucking forget because of course I'm going to forget. And it's like I think the truth is that like I keep thinking I'm still that person. I'm the person in vacation mode even when I'm stressed out. Like I'm still that
Yes.
person inside. I don't lose myself because I am no longer in Croatia or wherever. It's like I think that's a real learning for me is that like I'm still me. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm just
Completely.
deep and mushy, but yes.
It completely makes sense. I feel like it's also a good reminder of like, this too shall pass. Everything is transient. That like
Yes.
we most of the time, I would say, get to choose how we feel.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's hard when things are really hard and it's hard when things are very like big, but I feel like yeah, you get to decide like, okay, I am still this person and I'm going to access that person.
Totally. And sometimes it's just harder than others. And it's okay. Even when you're in the shit, it's like fine if you can't access that person, but just know they're in there. Like you in
Yeah.
your
I love
happiest
that.
self or you in your most joyous place are still there. Like you still exist? Yeah. So that's the trip. It was wonderful. I'm really really grateful that I was able to do it. And I also strongly recommend if people are I mean, if you told me 2 years ago, "Hey, you're going to take 6 weeks off in 2 years." I would have been like, "What?" And then I was like, "How am I going to do that?" Like what is that even? Like I'm not made of money and also like how am I going to do that like with my work or who's going to even go? And it's like I don't know, it's possible like to set long range goals. If it's not 2 years, if it's 5 years, like whatever, like it's possible.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my plug.
Um, my proposed title, it doesn't really fit, but it just pops into my head as you were talking was wherever you go, there you are.
Yes, done. I think that's a great title. That's why, friends, that this is named that. Wherever you go, there you are.
there, there you are.
Perfect. It's so good to see you, Karen. I
Okay.
know we haven't
So
talked
good to
about
see
you at
you.
all.
Uh,
Next time for sure. I know this is a mini pod that's not a mini pod, but it's okay.
yes.
All right. Thank you, friends. We will see you all very soon. Hopefully next week, but if not, we'll see you sooner or later. Bye.